is Jess. I wanted to share a bit with you as to why I feel that you should choose Premier Booth for your wedding and what I found during my research process of photo booths in the upstate New York area. I chose Bill for my wedding for quite a few reasons, but I can tell you as a perfectionist and obsessive researcher when it comes to big ticket items that I've scoured the upstate New York area and it's a no-brainer that you should pick Premier Booth. So a few reasons why I feel that Bill is set way apart from the competition. One is the amount of people that you can fit in the photo booth. Most weddings I've been to, you can maybe comfortably fit 4, but even that many people doesn't quite show up properly in the photos. Bill's can easily fit probably about 20 people, and the best part is that they all show very clearly with great lighting. And that's the second thing that I wanted to discuss. Even with 4 people in some photo booths that other companies do, the 2 on the outside possibly are barely shown because the lighting is just not figured out. With Bill's photo booth, you can clearly see everybody in the photo, whether it's 2 people or 20 people. The lighting is perfect. I'm not sure what he did to figure that out, but it is the best that I've seen. With that, I feel that another great aspect of Premier Booth is the layout that he has of his photo booth. If you look at most other companies, they have their props outside of the photo booth, where Bill actually has his inside of the photo booth, and I feel that there's quite a few benefits to this. One is that your guests and you can change the props out in between photos that you're taking if you'd like to. And the other thing that I really like about it is that other guests maybe waiting in line aren't hogging the props while they're waiting for photos. You could maybe have 3 groups of people in line at your wedding trying to take photos, but they all have their hands on the props and are taking them to hoard them or plan out what they want to use. But with Bill's setup, all the props are inside the booth, so your guests actually taking the photo, they get the full scope of what's available to use and don't have to fight over them. Now, adding on to that are the props. This is another thing that I feel sets Premier Booth apart. So all of Bill's props are great, and the other nice aspect is that they are clean and in good shape. It's not like they've been through 100 weddings and are, semi-unclean, or the boas or whatever falling apart. All of his props are in great shape and you won't get skeeved out touching them. The other thing that I feel sets Premier Booth apart is the resolution and pixels of the photos. If you go through any of the photos that Bill will have on his galleries online or send you in person, you'll see that some of the photos look like they were taken by a professional photographer or with a very, very nice camera because the pixel quality is so great. You actually can get the individual photos taken from the photo booth that prints out. So if it has like 3 photos on the picture that prints out, you'll have access to each of the 3 photos. So our family thought they were so great and such nice quality that they took some of the individual photos taken during their photo booth session and blew them up for family photos within their house. And that was because of the quality of the photos that Bill's photo booth at Premier Booth takes. If you compare this to other competitors in the area, this will be a huge difference in the quality of the photo. It's not as clear of a photo, could be a little bit blurry, but his are just crystal clear. Adding on to that, I feel that Premier Booth really has just exceptional customer service. Even with other vendors that we had as part of our wedding, I think they fall into, the trap with you if you sign the contract and they can lighten up, how much they really work with you and engage with you after that. After we signed the contract with Bill, he continued to be exceptional with customer service, communication, responsiveness. And that I feel is a huge difference with him compared to other vendors. Even when you go through quotes, he was extremely responsive, very quick to provide back any information. And with that, as some other brides may be, we were a bit demanding or had some special requests that we wanted. And Bill and Premier Booth, his team there, never gruffled when we asked for some, additional details we wanted adding to our photo booth. They took that on every time with a really positive attitude and gave it 100%, which we were really, really impressed with. So I can, also share a bit about, what I was looking at when I was searching for a photo booth. We had originally decided to, commit to a photo booth after going through a few weddings one summer before ours, and we noticed a few things from other vendors, actually at the weddings that made it clear that Premier Booth was the best choice for us. So, one thing we experienced is somebody who was maybe a $200 difference than Premier Booth actually misspelled the couple's name on every single print that came out that evening for their photo booth, which was just ridiculous. Bill, submits proofs to you, communicates with you. That never ever would have happened with him. So $200 to get that, kind of exceptional service and standard service is just a no-brainer. In addition to that, some people, we were at another wedding where, the vendor had a green screen, and that can be a nice quality, but it was totally, totally tacky. And, with Bill's professionalism and, his eye for detail, that's another thing that you would not, experience or be put in that position to experience. We went to another wedding, for example, where the couple, I'm not sure if they were saving money or just liked the idea, but they actually had someone do, a photographer there doing Polaroids with a backdrop of a curtain, and people could have props and whatever. So that photographer, despite having the backdrop, when we checked out our photos from that photo booth the next day, didn't even specifically capture the background that was supposed to be used that was set up there. We had the, nice gold shimmery background, but a whole other scene of the wedding itself in the background. So, that was a little odd and crazy. And then, another photo booth that I looked at in the area, and that was at a wedding I was at, you could max maybe fit 2 people into it, and it looked like the lights were off in the room or something. The lighting was just ridiculous. So, pretty much, I think you should think about your experiences at weddings that you've been to. Check out your photo booth pictures from there. Compare it to what Bill has. I know he'll give you a sample. Or when you're going around, request an actual physical sample from each, vendor that you're considering for a photo booth, because the actual physical differences when you put these in front of you will tell you and show you for yourself that Bill's quality of pictures, Premier Booth photo booth pictures are just definitely a much better quality than the competitors. And when you're looking at maybe, a $200 difference or whatever the number is that you're looking at, to get the level of professionalism, the nice quality photos, the lighting, how many people you can fit in them, that's worth the additional investment to get that quality. And the other part is I understand that when you're considering something like a photo booth, could potentially be a bigger ticket item for your wedding. And, I was considering, how much it would be worth it. Would our guests really use it? It was a concern because we were working our wedding on a budget. But we thought back to how much fun we've had, in photo booths ourselves, and how much we like taking, that physical thing home to, have a memory of the evening. And I can tell you now that we've had our wedding ourselves that the photo booth was extremely successful. We had so many people in the photo booth from the wedding, and so many repeat, users and the guests in the photo booth, that it was just incredible. And I'd say, the photo booth was definitely one of the favorite parts of our wedding, but we especially loved how many people we were surprised went in the photo booth. My dad's 80-year-old friends were in there having a blast with some of the really funny signs, everything else. And so many people actually utilize the photo booth that we'll be able to actually insert, what we're doing is we're taking the individual prints and putting them in the thank you cards, and we'll be able to almost put a picture of every single person that we're thanking within those thank you cards, because that's how many people out of our 200 plus person wedding utilize the photo booth. So, just to conclude, I wanted to say, to really look for yourself if you're still in the research process. As mentioned, I'm an obsessive researcher and perfectionist, and I can tell you, you really have to look no further based on, my own research that Bill's is the best. But that is knowing that it's an additional investment, but that's for, what you would consider standard quality from other companies in the area, but above that, it's just exceptional service. So I wish you good luck with your process, and just want to reiterate that we were extremely pleased with Premier Booth. Not only pleased, we were thrilled and impressed with the service, and we hope that you'll pick Bill too, because we know you won't regret it.